Oh, hey, there you are. Snuck up on me. I am going to give my rabbits some hay so they'll stay a bit warmer. The weather's a little cool out. Sunny, beautiful day today, but the temperature's down. Anyway, I figure, well, since you're here, let's go over some buying tips, I guess you could say. If you're going to buy a used pontoon boat like I planned, I'm actually going to. I've already got one picked out. I have to go pick it up. So before I show you a video on the buying process or the inspection and so on, and what I look for, let's go ahead and discuss 2 or 3 of the most important things you should do or check before you buy. So stay with me. Okay, like I said, we're going to discuss probably the 2 or 3 most important things you should look for if you're going to buy a used pontoon boat. Want to make sure you have no cracks or breaks in them or holes in them, because if they fill with water, obviously you're not going to be floating anymore. So that'd be the first thing I would inspect. If they're dented, that's not going to affect it much. Won't be pretty, but it won't be affected. If it's dented with a crack in it or a hole, now you got a problem. You'll have to have it welded up or what have you. So there's an extra expense if you're looking to lower the price a little bit. The other most important thing, I think the second most important thing, is the deck. 99% of those pontoon boats have a plywood deck. That plywood deck rots, especially under wet carpeting. The carpeting you don't care about, you can always replace that. If your deck is rotted, you fall through it, you're in the water swimming. You're not boating anymore. The third thing, I think, that I didn't mention 3 or 4 things maybe. The third thing would be the engine. If this thing's been sitting around for a year, 2 years, 3 years, that motor's not going to run. You'll need to pull the carburetors out, completely clean them. Fuel, especially gas or a mix of gas, will tend to gunk up sort of like a honey or molasses in the carburetors, and it just won't run. If it runs, it'll be rough. And then you want to look at the lower unit, make sure that you're going to have to replace no matter what. You'll need to replace it. You should do it every season, but you'll need to replace the impeller, which is your water pump, which cools the upper end of the engine. That's a very inexpensive item. It's just a little rubber impeller, and you pull the lower end of the unit off and replace it. Meanwhile, you would check your grease and so on. So you do all of that. Now, there is a 4th thing, and that is the furniture. The upholstered furniture on pontoon boats, if they sit in the sun, if they're uncovered, if they're very moldy and dirty, you really don't care if they're dirty, but don't let that fool you. Sometimes, the owner will say, I just need to be cleaned up. That may be true, but also, if you don't want to sit on a dirty piece of furniture on these pontoons when you're looking at them, to test it, then I would take an open hand and push down on the seams, and if they begin to separate, then you've got some rotten seats, and that's another thing you'll have to think about replacing. So what might seem like a bargain at first could end up being a nightmare in work. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it on those. So soon I'll be doing another video on the buying mine, transporting it, stripping it down and building and doing all I need to do. I may point out some of the things on that video that I was talking about. I just don't have a pontoon boat here. I'm in my yard. I was feeding my rabbits. It's basically just a beautiful sunny day. I thought I'd get out here and kind of preempt the next video that I'll be doing on the pontoons and the boat itself. Trying to think of anything else you might need. Oh, the trailer. If you buy a pontoon boat that comes with a trailer, you want to make sure that the wheels, especially the really small ones, you want to make sure those wheels have been greased with a marine quality grease. Maybe when you first buy it you may not, but as soon as you can, take the wheels off, hubs off, and grease those bearings, because you're lowering your boat into the water and bringing that trailer in and out of the water with those wheels completely submerged most of the time. So if you're not rinsing it off right away, then you're taking a chance, especially in salt water. Salt water is much harsher, but any kind of water penetration inside your wheels is going to cause some kind of rusting, or the grease is going to get washed out. So that would be the other thing. Of course, other than that, As long as it's securely strapped down, you should be able to be fine towing it if it's a trailer that's made for the pontoon. There is a way to tow it without having a trailer. It's a little bit risky, but it can happen. That's a flatbed trailer like I've got here. The flatbed trailer, let me show it to you real quick. It's just a normal, everyday tandem axle flatbed trailer. This one happens to be about 6.5 feet by 16 feet long, I believe. But anyway, you could put boards, 2x6s or 2x8s across here, and set your pontoons on top of that, and then strap the whole thing down real good. But anyway, that is a possibility. So anyway, till my next video, which I should be showing you the actual purchase of a pontoon. I'm looking at 2 of them that are 28 feet. I would prefer 24 feet. 28's a bit large, a bit long. It's may be difficult to steer it without power. So hopefully we'll see. But I'll keep you abreast. I'll let you see everything that's going on. Yeah, I know that's a little rough. We'll get smoother as time goes on. Meanwhile, hopefully you've enjoyed some of this video. You learned a little bit. And thank you for watching the video. If you want to, please subscribe or like, dislike, make your comments. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.